Hello again, and welcome to Living Life Short Discourses on the Greatest Call program. Folks, if I may ask, what are the last 3 things you, me, do before we sleep? Let's put it in this way. How do we spend the last 45 to 30 minutes before sleep? In this discourse, we shall expose the singular most important thing to do before you may go to slumber, which we do almost every day, folks. As previously articulated, we shall condensate the greatest narratives and experiences from the sages, saints, scientists, prophets, and poets for the singular purpose of advancement of your consciousness, my consciousness. For well over 80% of the planet's population, and that is a whopping 6 billion people, over 6 billion people, folks. What we do before we slumber is to be in bed and look at our phones. To be in bed and look, eyeball our devices. iPads, laptops, phones mostly. But for 80% of the planet's population, this is what we do before we sleep. And worst of it, most of us now, before we go to bathrooms all over the planet, the first thing we look for is a partner and not a book. No, folks, we go with our phones. Folks, technology is to be used by us, you and me. The converse, that is being at the behest of tech, would impede our growth and could even be deleterious health-wise. If you're like this, like most of us, we are about to learn one of the most important things to do before sleeping and later on this channel upon waking. And before letting you in on the revelation, we can promise you, folks, not more than 10% of the planet's population do this. And for those who spend the first and last 15 minutes doing thus, which we're about to release and reveal, the results are so glaring it could blind the greatest human sight. i.e., they have been checking out their goals, aspirations, and dreams more often than the rest of us. And rightly so. You see, most successful people that we mostly admire, they are very passionate and disciplined. Again, I have not seen one single person that I admire in the field of success who is now passionate and disciplined and committed to this field or to his or her field. Throughout ages, eons, sages and saints, prophets and poets have doled out the knowledge on how to live life abundantly using the inflexible laws of the universe, which we keep on espousing on this channel. We are not reinventing the wheel here, folks. No, we are not doing that, but making these enshrouded laws accessible by everyone on our beautiful planet, folks. By everyone. The single most important thing to do on your bed, on my bed, before slumber and upon waking, which we shall talk about later, is not your phone, folks. After kissing your spouse, in this case, we assume being married, of course. After kissing goodnight, we should give gratitude for the day ending successfully, intact. You have your consciousness intact. We hope so. And we continue with rewriting our goals, and if you can visualize them, i.e. mental imagery in motion pictures with eyes closed, that will be the most important way to spend the last 50 minutes before you slumber. Don't get me wrong, folks. We all learned how to drive vehicles in broad daylight. And now, for most of us, living in like big cities like Los Angeles, Seoul, Abuja, and Accra, sometimes have to drive many minutes and sometimes hours to and from work. And mostly, what do? We don't even remember how we got to our homes from work, or how we got to work from our homes. We did all this without consciously remembering them. This subconscious mind took over the driving seat, and it is the most effective human machinery we've ever known. It did take over, and it always does. Can we all imagine how difficult life would have been each time we do anything and it feels like our first time doing them? How can we even depend on something like that to consolidate a knowledge or the knowledge in that particular field? Practically impossible. So the time for slumber or sleep is one of the best times to significantly impress our minds, i.e. this subconscious mind. So let's do it this way. Let's go into the steps. Be in bed, comfortably, we hope, with eyes closed. First, give gratitude for the day's activities, ending with your consciousness intact. You are in bed, so it means you are alive. So giving gratitude to ultimate consciousness for the assistance and protection during and through the day's activities. And then you visualize the completion of the job, getting that degree you've always admired, successfully finishing the surgery in the case of surgeons, successfully orbiting the moon and returning safely to land for astronauts listening to this program. Your students passing their examination for teachers, and many, many more. Visualize your goals in mental imagery, motion pictures. Keep on doing this. And go into slumber doing so after gratitude. We should try to put off our phones, if we do, let's say for 15 minutes before bed, rewrite the goals. You can rewrite your goals as well if visualization is not something that is easy to do. Rewriting the goals in the present tense, like I have, I give, I do, I am, present tense. And then gratitude to the ultimate consciousness for the accomplishment of the goals. Repeat thus every night until you can feel the goal is achieved. Done. For this particular point or level of feeling, it can happen for few nights for some people. Of course, based on the person and her goals. For others, it could take weeks, months, and sometimes years, based on how big the magnitude of the goal, which means, folks, number of people that must come together, mostly unknowingly, to bring your vision to pass. But unknowingly, is that the adverb I want to use? Maybe not, because consciousness is one indivisible whole. So we are all one. Yes, they shall bring your goal to you because that is what you have indicated from your point of consciousness. That is what you've indicated to have, to see, to experience. But when it comes to cosmic energy, consciousness, it's not more difficult for consciousness to build many mansions as it is for a pay raise. But the magnitude of the goal and the person and how passionate you are can all affect the time for you to see the realization or materialization of the dream. Folks, would you all remember that the word man, M-A-N, is Sanskrit, could originate from Sanskrit, meaning the arranger, one who arranges or put together and in order. That is you and me, folks. That is our definition. We are here not to create energy, since we cannot, but to arrange and to spread, to put in order and to give out. However, this high or tall order can only be achieved effectively if and only if we go along or be in flow with the laws of the planet. Can you imagine after Papa gravitation, that is Isaac Newton, discovered gravitational force, we humanity as one fabric decided to go against it and develop our tech antagonistically to the foundation of physics and math, of the laws of gravity. I have one question. Would it have been more work for us or less? You see, we do progress effortlessly, happily, when we do work in harmony with the universal laws, with the laws of the planet and our being as well, and not otherwise. The laws of the planet and our being, and not otherwise. Again, we can only progress effortlessly, happily, joyfully, blissfully, when we do work in harmony with the laws of the planet and our being, and not otherwise. So, again, one of the most single necessary way to spend the last 15 minutes is to quickly review the day's activity mentally and giving gratitude. Whether it went greatly or not, you're still alive. And then we follow that with rewriting our goals in the present or visualizing them. Mental imagery in motion pictures before dozing off. Visualizing the accomplishment of the goals, or rewriting them in the present, which means you've already done it or you're doing it. You know, visualization, especially 15 minutes before sleep, folks, has consistently produced a remarkable progress in any field of its employment and deployment. And not surprisingly, there are science being well developed in this field. Infinite patience can produce immediate results, folks. The right time to see your goal, my goal or condition desired, shall never be too late or too early. But just right for the next step of your evolution, my evolution, to proceed positively. Consciousness creates wherever it is directed. This has been inflexible ever since the Big Bang and before. And this has been the core, the essence of the Greatest Call channel. In summary, one of the best ways to fully impress the powerhouse of creation, i.e. subconscious mind, is the last 15 minutes before slumber, when the conscious activities of the brain by serotonin through melatonin, like you all do know, have been significantly reduced. And not our phones, electronic gadgets like laptops, iPads. No, folks, no. And you would find out sooner than later that with this practice, you get an added advantage. And what is that? Guess what that is? With this practice, sleep is more restful, and haphazard dreams are significantly reduced. Our dreams get more coherent and joyfully, easily remembered. Once again, this was the Living Life Short Discourse on the Greatest Call channel. God bless you, your family, and the planet. Nos vemos muy pronto. See you all very soon.